Hello, you're watching The Nation. I'm ELANE or Abdullah, and the start of the new year often comes with big decisions. For parents, especially first-time parents, they're trying to choose the right nursery, play school or kindergarten for their children. And in the rush to find the best option, many parents feel pressured to make sure their child doesn't fall behind. But is there really a need to rush? Now, that's the question. Today, we talk about what truly matters in early years and how children grow best when they're given time. Joining us here is NURUL, NAJMI, HANIFFAH, Chief Training and Technical Officer at Sri Aria School, KinderKaizen and KinderBebe. And thanks for joining us today, NAJMI. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
Fantastic. And this is the start of New Year. It's only the 4th of January. I do believe I got the date right.
Yeah.
It's 2026. There's a lot of anticipation for this year coming forward. And with all New Year's, there's a start of this thing that we're like, oh, I have New Year's resolution. I need to do these things. And then children are getting to school.
Yes.
Parents are worried, like, oh my God, there's so many things to prepare for. And as we speak about that, let's just, dial back a little bit and let's talk about, setting a bit of a context here before we go dive deeper into, those parental expectations and what to do next. From your years working closely with both children and educators, and you've been in the field for some time, what do you think parents today worry most about when it comes to their child's early development?
Okay. Thank you so much, ELANE, for the question. I think, it's right to say at this early of the year, everyone have this idea of, okay, something is starting. I want to plan this out,
And you feel like, you can let go of the past, right? Whatever is done bad and wrong is like, it's just behind. Now fresh new start.
Yes, including for their children.
Yes.
So, of course, they want the best for their children. And the best usually look like, okay, I want my child to be able to, for children at the age of 4, 5, 6 years old before they go to primary school, right? So usually, the best for my children would look like my child would be able to read, write. My child is confident, going to school.
Active, social.
Exactly. And especially making sure that my child is the best.
Acing everything.
But here's the thing, when it comes to early child education, A's or having A's in everything is not the main thing. You don't have A in your social behavior, or you don't have A's in being good, for example. So yeah, I guess they are worried about that, but at the same time they're also worried about, what if my child is being bullied? What if my child is not stand out enough, so parents would not, teachers would not notice my
feel
child.
Intimidated.
Yeah. So all this thing is happening, and especially more, I believe, because of the social media era that we are in now. Like everything is online. Like the moment you open your phone, somebody is posting up something about their child development. Oh wow, my child just being able to read this and that, So that coupling with, the worry about academic, all jumbled up together, it has become something so huge right now.
There's a lot of pressure for parents to have their children perform in order for them to be able to stand out and succeed in life. That's their main focus.
Yes,
they want their children to succeed.
Yes, and all this is happening even before they go to school.
They step out of the home, actually. And I think I wanted to highlight this.
Yes.
Every child is different, and every child develops in different ways. Some are early developers, some are late developers, and we're not talking about early like 4 to 6 is early, and then like 12 to 14 is late. But some people even bloom after finishing school. So there's a lot of time for this gestation period for people to develop, and that's where time is a teacher, time is a friend, but time also can be an enemy if we don't practice it right, correct? So before we go deeper, when we say early childhood development, what does it actually include beyond reading and writing? Is there like a context of like, oh, what is this? What are the main frameworks?
Okay, all right. So the main frameworks that everyone in early childhood education or in the field agrees on is, first thing first is physical development. 0 to 2, the most rapid thing happening is your physical, and then cognitive development. It's not that when I say this one by one, doesn't mean that things happen one by one.
It overlaps.
Yes, it overlaps, but these are the main 4 things. Physical development, cognitive development, which is your brain development, and then there's social, and there's also emotional development. So these main 4 will help later on for the reading, writing, even the behavior, the building up a person, how they behave later on, and in terms of their
I feel values are very important.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's the word,
values are the core foundation for early childhood development. Once you set the right foundation for the right values, they are able to discern right from wrong, discern what they want in life, discern what is something that they're inclined to pursue, because everybody has different, like, okay, my parents say, for example, want me to pursue this, but as the child, maybe I don't want to be an academician, maybe I want to be a musician, maybe I want to be an artist, painter. Everybody has their inclinations. So the values allow them to be able to see what are the possibilities in life. I feel that's a good foundation.
Yes, exactly that. And at the same time, it's also because we're talking about the child, you know, becoming human. Yes, the child is born and then going into the early childhood. That process is not about making this person into academician by the time they are born. No, it's the long process about growing up, about understanding themselves, making their own identity. You know, all that process. It's really a wholesome thing, and it's all about the child.
And also needing to know how to live in community. We don't live in isolation. How do we interact? How do we practice respect, kindness, honesty, transparency, and all that? I think those are the key learning points that are good to instill at that age where you're forming your initial thoughts. Now, many parents obviously feel pressured to ensure their child is academically ahead. Like, I'm number one. I have like number one in school. I have A's, and then like, oh, I feel so proud. Trophy child. No, from a professional standpoint, what matters more in the early years that you see them developing after that, because you have that whole system, right? From the childhood, like 0 to 2 to 4 to 6, you see them throughout the entire process to like the primary school and higher education, because your entire group also takes care of all that whole process. You will see what works here and then how they develop later on. So that's an interesting insight to share. Academic skills or foundational skills like emotional regulation and social confidence, how does that develop, and where are these best sort of like nurtured?
Okay, all right. I think the term early childhood education, so people take the word education right away and straight away put into, okay, education means
baca buku.
Yes, ABC, 1 to 3, you know, that's what I have to do.
Like answering questions and tests.
But early childhood education is a general term about what is it that the children needs to, okay, I'm going to use the word learn, but learning how is a different thing. So, okay, let's just focus on early childhood education, what the children need to learn.
Like we see here, like they are learning through play, they're painting, they are interacting. It's not just, they're playing with, you know, this, and this seems like play, but you're learning texture, you're learning form, you're learning how to create things. So,
and the most important thing about how I feel about the process. Okay, this is my first time touching this thing. What is this? What is it that I'm feeling? All this feeling is going to become their inner thoughts.
Cognitive abilities.
Yes, and then their cognitive ability, the thing that they're going to speak up, they're going to share with people or with their peers, all that is all from just that bowl.
Yeah, or from just the interaction being among peers who are experiencing the same thing, whether it's shared thoughts, whether it's different thoughts, different ideas, perspective, understanding. Now, I wanted to ask, at what age do children actually learn best? Is there like a prime age? And what does learning really look like for someone who is like between 3 to 4 years old? Because like you said, we have a very traditional concept of learning, right? I remember going to school, they teach me ABC, 1, 2, 3, and then yes, you have recess and you run around in the field for a while, then you come back and you're still back to the blackboard and then the desk. So what are the actual best learning time, sort of like ages, and what does it actually look like?
Okay, of course, because we're talking about early childhood, so the best time to learn or to know things is at this point, 0 to 6 years old. This is the foundation. This is where you set. Yes, this is where you set all the values, all the things that you want the children to understand and then have at this point of time. But one thing I want to make a point so that everybody remember this, it's not the time for you to put everything in 0 to 6 years old.
Yeah. Like I think you mentioned this before we started the show. Just because they are a sponge doesn't mean they can absorb everything that you put on the sponge. There is also tepu, you know. There's such a thing as saturation, right?
So okay, so now you know at 0 to 6 years old is the foundation year. It's a good time for them to learn new things, especially because their brain is like, okay, what is this? I want everything is coming in, but what is it that you want to put in? That's the most important thing. So going back to the 4 main domains that early childhood education agree on is the physical development, having a chance to develop their physical, and then cognitive, your brain development, emotion, and your social, and also your emotion development. Okay, now this one, emotion development.
That's always the one that's been like sort of neglected, ignored, and are there sort of like pathways, tips for people to be able to manage that? Because I think a lot of parents today don't even have that skill to emotionally regulate. How do they then guide, and how do your educators guide them too?
You said something very important. Emotion development is most important in early childhood education. We know that 90% of the brain development focuses on early emotion development first. Before the reading and writing,
because you cry, you scream,
you feel
angry,
exactly
and you're
all
happy.
that. Exactly.
There's no filter,
no nothing, and then all this happening, especially at the age of 2 years old, and that's where the term trouble two comes in, the terrible twos. But that's just made up terms. That's not even in early childhood education. It's just made up. But the thing is to show that all this emotion comes in at that point of time, and this is where parents need to understand at 0 to 6 years old, they don't try to be difficult, but they are having difficulties to understand themselves, and they need somebody, which is the adult, to help them understand what's going on here. All this feeling that I'm feeling, I'm angry. Why am I menggenggam tangan, having this fist like this so hard? Why? What's going on? So having an adult to come in and say, hey, I can see that you're angry. You're angry because no. You know, having an adult to narrate, to just take a pause and just point out
and navigate that path out of that chaos in order for them to understand where that chaos comes from, in order for them to be able to then recognize if this comes again, how do I manage that again myself?
Exactly. And right now, the role is not just on parents, but also teachers
and educators.
Yes, these are the adults.
And I see that even their peers will be able to help them, because once they learn, they're able to get guide. Because you see, like elder brothers and sisters do that too, and that's the beautiful thing. Okay, we'll take a short break right now. When we come back, let's talk further about that next sort of like healthy stimulation, play and structure, and sort of like busting the myth on the word play. All right, stand by. We'll be right back after these messages. Hello, thanks for staying with us on The Nation. You're still with me, ELANE, NOOR. In the studio, I have NURUL, NAJMI, HANIFFAH, Chief Training and Technical Officer at Sri Aria School, KinderKaizen, and KinderBebe with us. NAJMI, I remember your sort of tweet earlier, nudge you, yes. NAJMI, now tell us, we covered quite a little bit earlier with regards to, the main pillars of the early childhood education from 0 to 6, which are the key sort of areas. We talked about emotional regulation, how we're able to navigate that. But I want to be able to like sort of throw this question forward, which could potentially be a bit controversial. Being Asians, a lot of our mindset is built around discipline, excelling in academics, and pushing children hard from the beginning to be able to create success in their future, because everyone worries that their children will not succeed in the future. So having observed classrooms regularly, you're being in the system, what differences do you see between children who are pushed too early and those who are allowed to develop at their own pace? Has there been any difference?
Yes. There's I wouldn't want to say a huge difference, but there is a significant difference. For example, children who are being pushed early academics, which is okay, at some point they're great, but once they enter primary school, they become, okay, I know this already, so why do I need to do this? And at some point, the interest to learn more or the interest to try starts to dip. Yes. Right. You get to see that.
So it's like boredom sets in, and then you become destructive. You want distractions because it's no longer stimulating for you.
Yes. Not all cases, I understand, but it does happen, and I have seen it. And as compared to children who are given the chance to bloom according to their time, sure, some of our children in our kindergartens, when they go into primary school, their grasp of reading and writing, not the most excellent, but they are able to read or recognize the letters and also writing. But by the time they're 10 years old, like when you are really ready, because scientifically research, your brain, your body is ready to learn at the age of 10. So you will see that by the age of 10, they are the most ready to sit for classes. And the feedbacks from teachers that we receive, that children from our kindergarten would show readiness and they don't want to play anymore. They're not the one yang going to kacau kawan ke tak. They're ready because they get to play.
Because they've already had that play time. Now, having spoken about the word play, let's sort of like debunk some things. Of course, play is something that creates joy, something that creates fun. So hence, if you're using play in education, it might have a negative connotation for people who want results-driven outcomes, right? So play-based learning is often misunderstood as just playing. Can you explain how play actually supports brain development and learning? And I think it's not just limited to children, it's also for adults. That's why we love gaming, right?
That one. And also, do you notice the day you decide to go on holiday, for example, right? The first day is the day you're most productive because suddenly your brain has all these ideas for work.
It's free.
Why? Because it's free. And that's how play is. Play allows the brain to set this free, no interruption in terms of emotion. There's no fear. I'm here because I'm curious and I can explore. It's very exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
So with that, when we call the children to sit down and probably take notice of the environment that we set up in our play-based environment, they have space to absorb that. They have space to see, oh, okay, my teacher is showing me this. My play leader is showing me this. They get the space to see that. But when you go to when you are being pushed too hard, maybe you're tired, maybe you are scared because if I don't do well, somebody is going to nag me or somebody is going to scold me. There's no space. There's no space to actually absorb the important things. You're just there scared.
I'll give a great example. I mean, everybody knows that, you know, the most innovative and most creative companies allow a lot of like freedom within their work structures, whether it's the Googles of the world, whether it's the Metas of the world. They have playrooms, they have restrooms, they have so much areas for you to be able to unconfine yourself, release yourself, express yourself so that you free your mind to be able to innovate, to be able to find solutions. Innovations is about seeing the solutions through the myriad sort of web that you're in. And that's where play comes in. It's not the word play per se, but it's the ability for you to be able to be free.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that because because one of the things that I tell parents or I tell the whoever who's questioning about play, probably because they don't understand it yet. But the thing is, play is not. Yes, it sounds free. It sounds so exciting. Everything can. Oh, I want to do this. Can. I want to do this. Can. No. Okay, that's one misconception. So I want to say that even though play sounds free and exciting, but there's a clear boundaries what you can and cannot do.
There are parameters.
Yes, and that's where values come in. That's where your understanding about rules comes in.
Yeah, because every game has a set of rules.
Exactly.
So when you go into a play environment, you have to work within the limitations it's set and find the loopholes within that to maximize your outcome as well. Like whether it's football, whether it's basketball, it all has rules and regulations. Now, how can parents tell whether an activity is stimulating their child or overstimulating them? What's the difference? Everybody thinks like, oh, they're active, which means that's okay. Is it stimulating or overstimulating? How do you tell?
Okay, all right. I think the most not fastest, but the most easiest way to tell is that whatever they do, there's going to be a start, there's going to peak, and then there's also a downtime where they can rest and take a rest. But if you see that and they pass the rest time and they're still at the peak, that's where it's too much. And you know certain behaviors such as suddenly not cooperating anymore and wanting ways my way. When those behavior comes out, it's already over the limit.
It's like having too much sugar. And then they just like scream, I want more. It doesn't matter whether or not, you know, they're no longer rational.
Yes. So going back to what I said about play, it's not that everything you can do or everything is free. It's an understanding, okay, you have this freedom, but with freedom comes responsibility.
As with all things in life, even as adults, you need to be able to create boundaries, whether it's with people you love, compatriots, friends, colleagues. Boundaries, even in society, you have boundaries where you can cross or where are the ones that you want to keep within. So they understand how to function within that environment.
You'll be surprised, but young children is I would say the group of people that will follow rules better
than adults. Now, I want to quickly touch on this before we close. We have maybe 2 more questions.
All right.
Is there such a thing as too many classes too early? Is there such a thing?
I want to say yes.
Okay.
Why? Because, again, what is it that you want to put into, or what is it that you want your children to have a chance to play and have a chance to learn? Is it really everything? Is it at the age of 5 she needs to understand the theory of theory of being human or something like that, which is in psychology, and you're only learning it later on? Is it necessary at the age of 5? No. So of course, if you can, whatever that they do focuses on their physical development, because they need to be strong. You know, just sitting down like this, you have to have a strong core. If you don't have a physical development that helps and support your strong core, how are you going to sit down and write? You know. Okay. So if whatever the activity is, and it supports physical play, cognitive development, their communication, their emotional regulation, and also their social development, that's fine.
Even as adults, we have burnout, right? So how can you try to cram as much for children?
And children will show you.
They will show you it's real.
Exactly.
Now, for parents who may not have much time, let's talk about this as sort of like a closing. What are the simplest daily habits at home that can make a real difference to a child's development? Because I do believe that the parental role in the child development is the most important. Beyond the external circle, what you see at home is sort of what will shape you as a human being.
This is something that I try to tell most of the parents that I work with. If you really, it's all about quality instead of the quantity. And one thing that you can really do is find a specific time that you can do read aloud, because in read aloud there's also fun in interaction. There's also fun in telling stories. That's a type of play that a family can do together. And research shows that if fathers do this, children's vocabulary will increase much more. Not to say that mothers cannot do it, but to encourage fathers to do it. And just 10 minutes of that would be very good enough with the connection that they have during that time.
I think it's also important to highlight that the physical connection is also important. Hugs, closeness.
Yes.
Besides just trying to force them to be like great in everything.
No, definitely not. So yes, hugs and just being close by and being in an intimate situation, right? So that will help with the family dynamics.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and I hope that the viewers out there gain some experience and understand that you don't have to push them so early. They will succeed in life if you show them and guide them in the correct way. So for many parents, the early years come with doubt, comparison, and the fear of not doing enough. But as we've heard today, childhood is not a race. It's a journey that needs patience, trust, and love. Our thanks to NURUL, NAJMI, HANIFFAH for reminding us that every child grows in their own time. And that's all for now. Stay with Bernama TV for more updates and The Nation for the stories that matter. I'm ELANE signing off. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Thank you.